All right, this is Billy Boy, and it's pouring down raining out here in Los Angeles, and we got a live cam over here, and we're looking at Skid Row and all, and I'm just thinking about how I used to live right here on the same street here. We had a father dollar bill. I think he died in 2011. He used to stand out there, and we used to stand out there for hours in a big long line, and he would take and give us words of wisdom and pray for us. And he had this wad of $1 bills, and after you listen to him talk, he'd give you a dollar bill, and then you would head down the street to the mission and go get yourself something to eat or whatever. His name was Father Dollar Bill. Real nice guy. I think he did this for like about 30 years. But it gets to a time where people can't afford to live in the city of Los Angeles. The rents are high, and I tried to get a house out here, an old beat up house, a tear down house, right? A house that's you don't move in there, you have to go tear it down and then build your house. But the tear down house was like 800 something thousand dollars here in Los Angeles. Every house on my block was at least $1 million or more, and they were built like 80, 100 years ago. I remember growing up, and houses was like about $15,000 to $20,000, But now you can't find a house. You can't find a house in downtown Los Angeles or in Los Angeles. You can't find a house out in the suburbia area. You can't find a house out there. Go try to live in Thousand Oaks. I knew this guy, this is Captain Lou, and we both were in the same National Guard unit. And he was hanging on to a house that was a new built, and he put down, he had $800,000. That was the rent back then. This was in the early 1990s, like 95 and 96. And he says, through thick or thin, him and his wife were gonna work 2 jobs each, and they're gonna take and pay that payment, that mortgage payment. And all since I was in the National Guard, I was in there for like about 8 or 9 years and all. He paid it, but now his house is $3 million. His house is $3 million. And so he is lucky that he stayed there. My grandmother, who passed away a long time ago, used to live in a nice house up on in Baldwin Hills on Don Luis Drive, and she promised me her house. It's a 2-bedroom house with 2 bathrooms, and it had a little rec room and living room and dining room and a very large kitchen, swimming pool out back. Beautiful house sitting up on Baldwin Hills. And for some reason, she decided that she was going to sell the house, and she didn't give me the house. She sold that house for $300,000 because what had happened was she was getting a divorce from my granddad. And when they got a divorce, she just kind of got rid of everything, threw all his stuff out in a big dumpster out on the by the sidewalk, threw all his guns away. He had calligraphy, he had fishing poles, he had all kind of expensive cameras. She took all that and threw it out in a big trash dumpster out on the street. All his TV sets.
We have climbing
and
gyms
everything.
all over the country, so we use Google Meet
Threw all
to
that out.
connect with our staff.
Threw all that out in the street. Then he had his little bar where his color TV set. A nice little bar with all his alcohol and stuff and the peanuts and stuff. She took a sledgehammer and tore all that apart. Threw his TV sets and everything all out. Threw his bar out in the street. All his tools and everything, just threw them out in the street. People were stopping and picking all that stuff up. Lucky I got some of his guns. He had all kind of hunter rifles and ammunition. I got about 4 or 5 of them, but she just threw all that out. And then she sold the house for hardly nothing, $300,000. She wouldn't give it to me. She threw her husband, my grandfather, in a nursing home. And he died a few months later from a broken heart. The cheapest nursing home in town. She threw him in there. Nobody visited him or nothing. And it was horrible. And then she moved in with her daughter, and she starved herself to death in the basement. So that was horrible. And but I remember all that. I was living out on the street, right out here. You can see these people out here throwing trash and garbage out here. That's exactly where it was. A cardboard box won't last you very long out here. It gets soaked and you're wet, you're damp. No place to get warm except for inside the mission, which is full of people. And when your stuff gets all damp and wet, all the people come and they just start robbing you. As you can see out here, and people are walking up and down the street. You ever seen those zombie movies? Ever seen the zombie movies where these people walking up and down the street like zombies, right? Well, that's the way these people are. Walking up and down the street like zombies. And if you shoot them, they won't die because they're full of fentanyl and dope and stuff. The people are just crazy. You can see people stealing people's stuff right now. They're going all through their stuff. All up in here. You can see all up in here. See up here at the top up here? You're not safe. Right? You are not safe living on the street. And it's President's Day, and a lot of people are all nice and warm. Inside their house, they got their food and stuff and watching TV and stuff. But this is going on right now. This is going on right now in the city of Los Angeles. And I tried to rent out here for like a 1-bedroom. It's like $2,500 to $2,700 a month for a little 300 square feet of room. So the house I was living in was like about 15 feet by about 20 feet. That was it. About as big as a garage. That's how big the whole house was. Had a kitchen in there, small living room, bedroom, bathroom, walk-in closet. That was it. You had no place for parking. You know, you had to park out on the street. So you go out there on the street, half the time your battery was stolen, and they bust the windows and steal all your radio and speakers and stuff. So, and then also it was street sweeping on Thursdays and Fridays. You had to be on one side of the street on Thursday, and you had to be on the other side of the street on Friday. And if you missed it, right, you come out to your car and you'd have a parking ticket. Okay? You can't park in the alley. You know, you want to park in the alley, you get a parking ticket back there too. So hardly no place to park. Park your car out on the street. It's exposed to theft or whatever. And then you're trying to walk to the store and you get robbed. Okay, you go to the store and they don't hardly have nothing there because it's a convenience store. So all they have is junk food and beer and alcohol, right? Potato chips, candy, and a lot of lottery tickets. You know, a lot of junk food, lottery tickets, beer. Okay, nothing that's nutritional, right? And I've got this app on my phone. It's called Citizen, and you take and push the app to see what's going on around your neighborhood. And there's always somebody getting beat up, abducted, somebody shooting at somebody, a fire, a car accident. And then they got these little places where you can see where all the child molesters are living at. And I got like about thousands of them around me. All these people that were apprehended for abducting or doing some sexual deviant stuff to a minor. Hundreds and thousands of them live in my neighborhood, right? Murderers, killers. It's just horrible. I'm getting all these alerts and stuff. But the closer you get to downtown Los Angeles, the worse the crime is. You go down there and all your stuff gets stolen, right? You can see people right. You can see people right on the TV set, right here on the screen right now. They're just going down and just stealing people's stuff, right? Guys with a wheelchair, right? He's just going down and going into people's stuff, and whatever he can find, he picks it up and steals it, right? And puts it on his wheelchair. You see that? Right? Look at that. Just going down with his wheelchair, looking around, people coming out of doors, and they just looking around to see whatever they can find, and they steal it. Ain't nothing you can do. There ain't no police down here, and nothing. But it's cold, it's miserable, it's raining. You can see water dumping out on the street out here, right here, through this wall channel thing right here. They do got surveillance. You can see this camera up here, and there's another one that's why you're able to see what's going on 6th Street, because this is camera 2. But sanitation-wise, I'm hearing they only got 10 toilets on 6th and 7th Street to service 2,000 people. So that means 200 people on the average are going to each toilet. One toilet at high peak is only able to handle 50 people a day. At least 50 people a day. That's filling it all the way to the top. But over here, we got porta potties are servicing 200 people. So you know that that's really bad. And a lot of the prostitutes were using the doggone porta johns as their business area to do sexual favors and stuff for pay in the porta johns. So they just stopped servicing them, and it's just getting all messed up. So now the people are just urinating, defecating all on the walls, all in the street, on the sidewalks. And so when it rains like this, all that water washes that down the street. And if you're laying in the water and stuff, you're getting covered by all that contamination. And if you can see up here, a whole bunch of trash and garbage and stuff, it's thrown out here in the street, and people are going through it, right? They're going through this trash and this garbage and stuff, and they're picking through it. We got trucks coming. You can see at the bottom of the screen, we got trucks coming down through the alley and stuff. If you're sleeping on the ground, you could get yourself crushed. But this building right here, this is the Mission right here. So on the corner of the 6th Street right here, I think this is Los Angeles and 6th or somewhere around in there. And there's 2 or 3 missions down here. And they serve three hot meals a day. But a lot of these people are mentally handicapped and stuff, so they'll take their food and walk down the street and then throw it up against the wall because they're on fentanyl and all kind of drugs and substances. But I want you to see this sidewalk, right? You could be just one paycheck away from this. A lot of people are just one paycheck on being on the street, one paycheck of having all your stuff in a shopping cart, and you pushing it down the street, or you looking for a dry place to stay. And there's no dry places. There's no dry places, there's no safe places down here. And I just want to show you this. So today is President's Day, and a lot of people are out shopping, or sleeping, or partying, or doing whatever. I did put out a video on President's Day so that you can learn a little bit about some of the presidents that served. I think it was on the 5 best presidents and the 5 worst presidents. So I did put out a video on that today, and then I put some other ones out. But I need for you guys to push the subscribe button and push that like button and send me some comments. I really want to get up in the numbers on the subscribers. My goal is 1 million. I think today I'm gonna get past 200,000 subscribers. So 200,000 subscribers in about, I'd say about 3 months. That's pretty good. About 2.5 to 3 months. I think that's pretty good, right? I'm still a little ways away from being monetized, but we're doing good. I got my shirts and everything done, right? My subscription list is getting bigger and all. Maybe about a year from now, I should be monetized and I should be able to do things. But I always look at my past because, see, I was living right on this street, right here at 6th Street. I lived on 6th Street for several months. I lived on Olympic Street for months. And so between 6th Street and Olympic, I was out on the street for a year. And I was working 3 jobs. And I did have a car. I had a Volkswagen Rabbit. I put 2 million miles on it. I had a Volkswagen Rabbit. Car never let me down. I would park it someplace where it wouldn't get vandalized or whatever. But I was working 3 jobs trying to pay my child support. I had 2 kids in Kansas, and the judge, she slapped the gavel down on me and said $1,000 for each kid, and she pounded the thing twice. And she says if I don't pay the child support, she's going to send law enforcement out and put me in jail. So I left Kansas and didn't have no job at all. None. Right? And came out here to California, tried to live with my parents for a little bit in a trailer out in the backyard. That didn't work out. And so I just left in my car and came down and decided that I need to find me some jobs. So I found me a job opening up a Michael's Arts and Crafts place. I did that for a little bit. I joined the National Guards, Army National Guards, and did some work right there a little bit. I was working at a church, doing some volunteer work at the church, working there a little bit, and I was a handyman in the family, and I would do odd jobs for people in my family, you know, painting, building fences, this kind of stuff, cleaning the yards or whatever, and just doing some little handyman jobs to get paid for a little bit of money. And so I did that, and that kept me going. I got me over $2,000. I was making about $3,000 a month working and I was working for a contractor, Q Ray. I was working for him. And yeah, it was hard. It was rough, but I made it. I kept going. Eventually, I got off of living on Skid Row, and I took a test, a CBEST test, to become a teacher down in Long Beach at the Long Beach arena down there, Civil Center, whatever it was. And I passed the CBEST with flying colors, got me a job being a school teacher, and that one job, that one income right there, being a teacher was over $5,000 a month at the beginning salary. So that was pretty doggone good. I quickly got me a little apartment and stuff across the street from the school that I worked at, so I didn't have to drive any place. And I grew from there. I grew from being a beginning teacher, and I got all the way to the highest paid teacher in LAUSD. If you look right now, the highest paid teacher is over $100 and some thousand a year. So I was all the way up there. They call them career status. I was a C5 at the highest paid notch. So I was way up there. And in the military, I went from a first lieutenant all the way up to a colonel. So a full-bird colonel makes a whole lot of money. Go put full-bird colonel and Army in there and see how much a full-bird colonel makes. And I was over 30 years. Full-bird colonel over 30 years, LAUS teacher at 30 years, and retired in both of them. And I'm close to 70 and getting full retirement, full VA benefits, full Kaiser, Medicare, Medi-Cal, so I don't pay for nothing. I got free medical for the rest of my life. I got 4 retirement incomes coming in for the rest of my life. I'm single, ain't got no bills to pay. I live in a nice apartment right here, and I ain't got to worry about nothing. I could go downstairs, and I could be right there on 6th Street. I could just walk down there and just wave to you, but I could be right there in about 3 minutes. I live 3 minutes away from there. All right, so and I can almost go to the window back here and almost see 6th Street from my place. And I went from there to here. From there, where you see up there on that screen, I was there to here. Well, it took me about 25 years to get here. Now I'm here. I'm here. I'll be 70 years old here in August. I'm in good health. I just got all my medical and stuff done. There's nothing wrong with me. I ain't got no high blood pressure. They say, well, I'm diabetic too, possibly. So they got me on metformin. You people know what that is. Metformin? That's some kind of pills you take to lower your blood sugar and all. My blood sugar is up just a little bit. My PSA was just up about half a point higher. Should be around 4, but mine was 4.5. But other than that, everything on me is A-okay. And I'm just enjoying my life. And having a Super Bowl, I wish the doggone Rams would have won. That would have made me a little happy on Super Bowl day, but got through the Super Bowl. I wasn't a fan of the Seattle Seahawks. I wasn't a really fan of the New England Patriots, but I bet that the New England Patriots would win, and what did they do? They just went out and died on the field. Very interesting halftime. It was all in Spanish, so, you know, all the people around me that live around me, they speak Spanish anyway. They told me that was Latin, that he was singing, what was it, Bad Bunny, singing in Latin. But it was a very interesting halftime show, and we got through all that, but and now we're going through this. We just finished Valentine's Day, and now this is the third Monday of the third Monday in February, and so we celebrate President's Day, which is actually George Washington's Day. Officially, that's what it's called, George Washington Day, but we pulled it over. We pulled George Washington's birthday over to the third Monday so that we could have the 3-day weekend. You know. So I hope you enjoyed the show. I wanted to just make another one because I made one just before this one, but I forgot to push a button, and so the background was spotty. It was stop and go. Okay, it was stop and go because I didn't push a button to live stream it. Okay, so it was just catching. So I just wanted to make another one real quick so that I could see, do I have one where people are moving smoothly through the background.
If you have CalFresh, Medi-Cal, or SSI, you may qualify for a free iPhone 11. Plus up to...
It's still, like I said, this is a live cam. So since it's on live cam, it throws a commercial out. It throws 2 commercials out every 3 to 4 minutes. So I have to go ahead and pull that off. Well, I'm going to take and just go back and lay down in the bed here and just relax and just think about where I was, where I'm at. I got a nice microwave oven, you can see over here, and I got the microwave oven, you know, and the bar type of kitchen here, you know, nice cabinets and stuff up there, and couch and everything here. It's just ultra modern, and I'm looking down. I'm looking down on Alameda Street, and I can see, and there's some nice, if you take and look out my window and stuff, there's nice apartments all around me. They're very nice, right? The only bad thing about this is that a lot of these people that are living here of one paycheck are being over there on Skid Row. So they're living in there. 2 or 3 people are living in there paying that lease. Okay, because to live here is between $5,000 to $6 a month. $5,000 to $6 a month to live where I'm living at right now. And so they got them living in there in shifts, 3, 4. I even seen sometimes 6 people living in these units. So it's how you want to live. If you want to live in shared housing and luxury, and you trust the people that you're living with, go ahead and try it. I sure wouldn't want to do it. When I come to my place, I want to have my place. And if I decide to have a girlfriend or something come over, I want to make sure she comes over and she's comfortable and ain't sitting in there and being looked at by the other people that living with me. So nobody's going to be living with me. I'm going to live right here. I'm a high-valued man, as Kevin Samuels would say. High-valued man, somebody that makes over $100,000, he's got good connections, has a nice house, got a nice car, and has been living at that level for at least 5 years or more. So I've been living at this level for at least 10 years. And so I feel pretty good and I feel pretty blessed. I joined the Cottonwood Church, right? And it's a very nice church over in Cyprus. I keep my Christian faith up and stuff. But I never forget my roots. And my roots are right there on the street, right there. Okay? This guy is standing right down in here that reminds me of myself. I used to stand there with my little raincoat on, my hoodie, and sit there, and squeeze out all the water and stuff because I was living on the ground and stuff. And that was me, folks. That was me. And you can see that pile of trash and stuff sitting out there. You know, sometimes they'll pile the trash all the way across the street. So that makes you stop. Like that car sitting up there, once you stop, then they'll come over and rob you or try to panhandle you, right? So you got to be real careful about that. They'll put barriers and stuff out to force you to stop. And when you stop, you're being attacked. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close this video right now. And I'm going to say a prayer for these people that are living out on the street. There's a guy riding his bicycle. I hope it's not an electric bike. He's sitting out there riding his bicycle out there in the rain. So, what's up? Thank you for being here today. Hope you enjoy President's Day. Hope you enjoy the rest of the month. And we'll see you on another edition of What's Up? What's Up? What's Up? What's Up? Yeah.